I'm talking to Dr. Don Vaughn, who's the head of product at Invisibly. And Invisibly just made an announcement a couple of days ago that their platform allows consumers to make money off of their data, their customer data. I think that's at its simplest, but there's a lot more to it. So Don's here to explain it all, the ins and outs, the bells and whistles, the what it does and does not do, and what this can mean for customer engagement on the brand side, but what it can mean for the consumers as they try and express more control over their part of the conversation. So talk to me, if you would, about the announcement and exactly what this means.
Yeah, so Invisibly, we just announced we built a platform that lets people link their data, whether that's browsing data, social media data, financial data, profile questions you might answer. You can link that data, and then we will be your agent, just like a professional athlete might have, to look at deals for you, and we'll go license that data out to advertisers and market research firms who want to know you better. And it's really one of the first steps in people being able to take control of their online advertising experience. And it signals the shift away from the one directional advertising that's probably been the standard for, let's say, 20 plus years on the internet.
So you're going to broker the data for, I don't know, a couple million people. That sounds like a big undertaking.
Yeah, it is a big undertaking. It's been many years in the making to figure out how this might look. And what we realized was you can actually have a much better experience as a brand who wants to reach people if people were incentivized to be part of that transaction. So just like you and me, we have a conversation, we both want to be here. It doesn't really work like that online in advertising. We all know it. We all know our products need to reach people, but blasting out millions and millions of ads with tiny click-through rates tells us we're actually missing the mark most of the time. So what we really are trying to emphasize here is if you can get consumers and if you get your customers as part of that transaction where they want to see relevant brands, people want to see relevant ads, it becomes content as soon as it's relevant. So if you can incentivize people to link their data such that we can figure out what they're truly interested in, and you give them control, the thumbs up and thumbs down, certain types of offers that you might send their way, and you put them in control, we think we can build a platform that is the best way to have a relationship with people, because you're honoring, you're reaching them based on their data. You're honoring their preferences when they say, I don't want to see this anymore, try something else. And that leads to better outcomes on both sides. You need more information, more control, and more transparencies. Really does leave both sides better off, and is the best solution to what's happening with third-party cookies and privacy laws.
So I can see where brands would just jump all over this, because this opens up a whole new level of relationship with a customer, because the data is essentially permissioned at that point. It's right. Offered up in exchange for a very open value exchange. I think the brands I talk to would just be all over this. Consumers, I think, are just starting to wake up to the fact that their data has value. Yeah. Do you think consumers are ready for this?
I think consumers are really ready for this. The question is, yeah, nice platform. What's the pain point? The pain point is, people are pissed off that Facebook and Google are making hundreds of billions of dollars off their data. And they're honestly sick of being stalked. It's weird online. It's weird to say something and have an ad show up and have no control really over not seeing that again. That's not a normal human interaction. That's only capable because machines can stalk and target and slurp up data and bid on you and do all these things that we do. And I'm fully empathic with brands, which is like, again, you have products, you want to reach the right consumers. The way to do that clearly is personal data, but it's provided by third-party data collectors who, often collect data without people truly being informed and consented. So we're building this consented data platform that I think people are really ready to take back control online. And so it is, like you said, it's fully consented. It's people are like, I do want to be part of this transaction. Some fraction of it's to make money off my data dividend, but another fraction of it is everybody does want relevant stuff. Marketing serves a huge purpose in order to get knowledgeable products in front of people. And the problem is that every day there's millions of more products that could barrage people, and everyone wants to reach them. So if we can have the consumer almost pulling in what they want by using Invisibly's AI to sort of curate their world, that's I'm teasing you. That's the next, in 2 months, that's what we're releasing, which is right now it's link your data, make money off it. We'll broker the whole transaction, just like you're a professional athlete. We will do the sponsorships, we'll do the deals. Step two, we're going to take that data and we're going to link up many product catalogs, events you could go to, apps you could download, deals and offers that brands might want to show. And we're creating a feed where basically a live feed where people get to ingest and digest that just as they would with Instagram. Because if if you sell tires to somebody who wants to buy new tires, you're not an ad, you're content, you're really valuable. And that's really what we've learned from many, many user interviews is that if you're relevant, people enjoy seeing what you have to. So what's missing is people adding the data and having control over likes and dislikes to then start pulling in things that they want. And then I think we're really gonna brands are really gonna be chomping at the bit.
So for consumers, it's literally as simple as like, okay, I don't like. That's it.
Yeah,
Just choose
that's right.
yes or no, basically, and then the platform kind of takes it from there. You
Yeah,
know,
we provide. I phrase it as we provide AI for people. We're one of the first platforms that's like, well, brands are using AI to filter all this and try and push relevance based on their best guess at who you are, but you know you much better than them. So if we can just give you an AI that takes your inputs and you have full control over to go out there and curate your world for you, that's the next phase of advertising. That's the next, to me, a Google level company, which is if you have to consciously think about it and Google it, you're too late. It should have already been that your AI found it for you.
yeah, it should have anticipated your needs. So, the value of consumer data is a variable thing. To certain
Yeah.
brands, some consumers really have no value. Other people, other segments, they're just wildly valuable.
Yeah.
How does Invisibly kind of reconcile all that stuff? And how do you broker it?
Yeah, right. I mean, for those of you, how technical your audience is, but let's just take to show 1,000 impressions of an ad online. Typically, a data fee might be something like 25 cents or 50 cents, maybe a buck. For the average set of people, oh, I'm interested in a phone, I'm interested in volleyball, I'm interested in soccer, whatever it is you're interested in. So it's like a tenth of a penny to show an ad because the data is just that bad. If you think about it, it's so indirect. If you really knew the person was going to convert, it'd be a lot more, but
Right.
it's not. It's cheap on average. And then, as you point out, if you're a doctor and we know you're going to be buying some medical equipment for the new ER that you just built, that CPM, that value of what I'm willing to pay to reach that person goes way up, way through the roof.
Sure.
I mean, up to 20, 50, $100, $200 for custom engagements. We are at the level right now where I think for people being introduced to the concept as the product guy, I had to make a decision on, are we going to have a very efficient marketplace where I build a system that says, oh, well, how much data got sold for how much, and then take a fraction of that, return it to people. And I think it's too confusing for people. So we're playing a flat fee. No matter who you are, you link your bank account, you make 75 points off that. You link a social media account, you make 25 points. You link your browsing data, you make 200 points every month. And then once you reach 500, you can cash out into just straight up cash. You can donate it to charity. So we simplified it because you're right. There are different levels for different people on what that data is worth, but that's secondary.
So just bottom lining it here from a consumer standpoint, how much can a regular old American consumer make on the Invisibly platform?
Depending on how many data sources you link, you can make between $60 and $100 a year, and in about two, which is the start of something. We are building this platform, so that's what we can pay out based on our relationships. I think in 2 years we will be making people $1,000 a year off the personal data.
That's
It's not
significant.
just it's significant, right? $1,000 a year from the data that you're sitting on, and for those of you who don't know, every other business you're connected with is already tracking and making money off of. If you look at your bank statements, you look through the clauses, they sell your data to their affiliates. The end. You can't
Oh
even
yeah.
opt out. At my bank, you can't even opt out of it. That's just how it goes. Facebook tracks you everywhere online. Your social media, when you post, there are thousands of companies that go around and mine that and look for social sentiment changes and the influence of campaigns. Everybody's making money off your data, but you. That's over. That's crap. We're done with that. We're Invisibly is like your data agent, and we're here to represent you. And we only make money if you do. So we do a 50-50 split.
Interesting. So if I understand correctly from the announcement, the platform is in beta right now.
Yeah,
Is that right?
that's
Okay.
right.
So I just got my announcement earlier today that I'm part of the friends and family group, and I'm honored to be part of it. I'll be all about it here, just getting in there and trying to figure it out. But when this gets opened up to the public, how, I don't want to just feed you a softball here, but how does the general public kind of find out about this? I mean, because this is a fairly new concept.
Yeah, it's a fairly new concept, and whenever I talk about it, people love it, but no one knows this exists because we're so used to signing up for a product for free and then having all our data mined and sold for much more than it would take to build the product. That's why there's insane profits from tech companies, is they get you with the free thing that they've built, and then it's just tons and tons and tons of ad revenue. So right now we're doing word of mouth. We're reaching out to friends and family. I think a lot of this is going to be word of mouth. When we start paying people, when you're starting to earn money every month, it becomes very real. You want your friends to be a part of that. But the truth is, a lot of it takes trust, Mike. Like, data is a very sensitive topic. And no matter how many times I tell people, like, advertisers, none of them want your social security number. None of them really want to harass you. I know good advertisers, what they want is just to know, are you interested potentially in their product? Will you learn about it? And then to follow up. That's what right? That's just, brands. I don't think brands just they think they build what they think is a great product. They want to get in front of the right people. So it's really about trust, I think, for a little while, which is my good friend Jim Pitcow had a great quote, which is that trust is one microtransaction at a time. And so we just got to show that we're building it. We're not taking your data and selling it to China. We are not just not paying you. So we'll just continue to follow through. And I think word of mouth will be the main way that we spread.
Huge. So what's the downside for a customer here? I mean, is there fine print that they need to be aware of? Is there like, oh, well, we're not selling it to China, but we're selling it to, whoever else?
Iran.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. No, only North Korea. So we're pretty good.
Right.
So I think it's important, there's all these look, this is a beta. So there's all these controls that we will be building that we'd love to. Right now, we license your data out to people who want to, brands and companies that want to buy it and license it on the programmatic exchange. But we don't yet have the sophistication to give you control over, I'll sell it to all these, but I don't want to sell it to McDonald's, or I don't want to sell it to Kohl's, or I don't want to sell it to the football team near me, and we don't have that in there. So it goes out in bulk. And the reason for that, Mike, mainly is that, unfortunately, while people think their data is extremely valuable, as well as I, that there's so much data, unconsented data out there about you right now that works, that floats around, that it waters down the value of your true data. So many people stalk you online. They already know a lot of this stuff. So when we try to license your data out there, they're like, well, we're not paying a premium yet because I could just buy it from this other data stalker. No problems.
But those days, as you and I both know, those days are numbered.
Those days are numbered. And thank God. How weird would it be, Mike, in real life, if somebody was following you around everywhere you went, to every store, and writing down notes and then giving it to brands? So my hope here, and part of coming on here, it's not just to get people on board, it's to let brands know, like, I empathize with brands in the sense that you need to get out there. That's the only way of doing business for the last 20 years. I'm telling you, there's a new way, which is that actually respecting people's consented data and licensing it from them directly, rather than buying it from some of these, very sketchy data collection companies. So some of this will be, if you want to future-proof yourself as a brand, relying on third-party data brokers is, like you said, the days are numbered. I think it's time. Invisibly, we'll work with you, and we will find a way to work and reach people who want to be reached.
Very cool. Don Vaughn is the head of product at Invisibly. I've been privileged to have kind of a corner view of what's happening here for the past few months, but the recent announcement makes this really exciting and really compelling. I don't know if I'm allowed to invite people into the beta, but I'll be telling everybody I know about it, because this is really exciting stuff. So again, thanks a million, Don. Always
Mike, thanks so much for having me and giving great feedback along the way. And I really think we're ushering in a brand new era of how brands and people interact in a direct one-to-one relationship, and Invisibly just puts them together.